Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Anyway, what I want to do is say hello to everyone. Welcome. Now, I've got an announcement to make.
What's that?
We're changing the time of our live.
Oh, are we really? What are we going to do, George? Tell me.
We're going to push it back by half an hour.
Push
So
it
it's
back.
currently 6:05. It's going to be 6:35. Type in the chat if that will make it easier for you to rock up and show up to our event.
So it's 6:05 Australian Eastern Standard, and you want to turn it to what?
6:35.
6:35. So a little bit later.
A little bit later. Give people time to get home from work, do what they need to do, and get ready. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about we're giving away a mentorship, right?
That's awesome. Hello.
Yep.
That's life-changing.
What's the value of the mentorship?
Well, if we're giving away the full program, we're talking nearly $40,000.
Yeah. So
but that, guys, that's a lifetime membership.
Yeah. So who would like to have me and my team be your personal property coach? Right? Who'd like that? Type in the chat,
guys.
If you'd like me to be your personal coach, because I think, who thinks that if you had me as your coach, you could probably become a property millionaire? Yeah. So
absolutely.
I want to talk about stats, because normally I want to jump into stats.
Can I just say as well, if you've got some existing members out there who would love to, who've already paid for a membership or they're on installments, that doesn't mean you can't join the program, because that just means we're just going to upgrade you, which is fantastic.
Yes, exactly. So Padam said, I would love to be coached by you, George. Yes, please, Sharon Slater. Yep, perfect. Well,
absolutely.
I would love that. It'd be great. I'd love to mentor someone. Well, I mentor a lot of people. Since I started teaching my methods, we've actually helped over 3,500 Australians, and actually people around the world. There's people, in Hong Kong, Dubai, and different places. And we've helped them make over $1.1 billion in profit through investing in real estate.
Fantastic. That's such great. That's a really good feather in your hat, George.
Thank you. Madame said you're a legend, George. Thank you very much. Stephen Kane, yes, please. So whoever wants to do this, type in #mentor, and I'm going to get my team to reach out and give you the opportunity to win a mentorship with me. And this is the way it works. What happens is you log in, you get a free copy of my book just by logging in, and then you join the Facebook group and do a few things, and each thing you do, you get points. Now, last year, I gave away a holiday to
Bali.
That was about 12, 14 grand?
Yep, 12, 14 grand.
12, 14 grand. And we had one of our members from Adelaide win it because she worked really hard. This is a merit-based thing, so I'm not going to be drawing at random. If you do the work.
So we're not doing the old pluck a duck, get the old balls in a cage, roll them around, grab a number. It's
so this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. The person who gets the most points is going to win. No question there. Also, the person who gets the most points, they get to go to a 2-day workshop in Adelaide this September.
Yes.
They're coming to my VIP dinner with my Circle of Safety, and they're going to be sitting on the table with me personally. They're also going to be coming to our Christmas party as well. They're going to be invited to our Christmas party.
Wow. Absolutely.
Right? Love our tribe, George. I'm glad you do. Awesome. And then they're going to get me and our team as their mentor. Right?
Love it.
I want to give back, and this is the way I want to give.
Yep, it's perfect.
Now, let me go through what's been happening in the world. So
update of the world with George. Yeah, let's go. So
Australia has the lowest rental availability among its peers.
Okay.
Rental vacancy rates of major housing markets. Australia, 0.9%. Canada, 1.4%. England, 2.7%. Hong Kong, 4.4%. US, 6.3%. Singapore, 6.3%. Can you believe that our housing, Singapore is tiny, right? Singapore's the size of, I don't know, Granite Island. And anyway, you could walk across Singapore in 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
I did 25,000 steps when I was in Singapore. That was almost halfway across the island, right?
Really? I
Yes,
didn't realise.
yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, it's tiny. No, I wasn't walking across the island. I was going up to the Ritz and then down to Raffles and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
right? So basically, Singapore have got a vacancy rate of 6.3, and they're considered a really tight market.
Yeah, right.
And getting into Singapore is really difficult. You can't just move to Singapore. You're going to jump a lot of hoops. You're going to be really rich. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep.
I'm
So-
still keen. I'm still keen to go to that lovely little market, their famous market there, which
Well,
would be
look.
amazing.
Talk about Singapore. Christine and I went there for her birthday, and we stayed at Raffles Hotel.
Yep.
And they pick you up in a limousine, and you get your own butler with
Wow.
white gloves and everything. And I don't normally stay at Raffles and blow all this money, but it was her birthday and I wanted to treat her. And she always wanted to go to Raffles, and Raffles is an icon. And you even got the little bellboy at the front with a little turban, all that from the old days. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
People that are politically correct might think, it's wrong, but I think it's great. I love the tradition. Then you got the Long Bar. And the Long Bar is the original longest bar in the world. And that's where they invented the Singapore Sling. Now, you know why they invented the Singapore Sling?
No.
Okay, so it was frowned upon for women to drink back in those days.
Ah.
But all the aristocrats, they wanted to have a drink as well. It was hot and steamy. They wanted to drink, but it wasn't ladylike. So what they did, they got their top bartender to invent a cocktail that looks like a normal drink. So invented the Singapore Sling. So we would be going, oh, I'm just having a little cup of, juice type thing, but getting drunk. Anyway, so at the Long Bar, they give you free peanuts. And as you go along, you just grab your peanuts, shells, and chuck them on the ground, and they sweep them up afterwards.
Really?
Yeah. It's the only place in Singapore you can litter. Otherwise, they cane you if you litter. But at the Long Bar, you're allowed to litter.
I always heard that. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
Stories of tales on your travels, George. Love it.
If you look at Australia, 0.9%, and you look at Singapore, 6.3%, America, 6.3%, we have got the tightest rental market in the Western world, in the whole Western world.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That's big stats, absolutely.
Look at Hong Kong. You'd think Hong Kong would be tight, but Hong Kong's like 4 times more vacancies than us.
Wow. Oh, hey.
So there you go.
There's a reason why they call us the lucky country, right?
Now, this is an interesting thing what's happening.
Everyone wants to live here. That's why. That's the reason. I mean, you look at, flying somewhere like from Melbourne to Noosa or to the Whitsundays. I mean, you go from city to tropical. It's just an amazing part of the world, to Ayers Rock, to Perth, you name it.
Let me tell you about Sydney.
Let's get started.
Now, we know about the great exodus from Melbourne.
Yes.
Not only are the people leaving Melbourne, the investors are leaving in droves as well because of the communist government in Melbourne. Don't get me started on the communist government, right?
Yes.
Now, people are starting to leave Sydney as well. So most people in Sydney and Melbourne are moving to Brisbane because they can sell their property and buy 2.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what's happening is people leaving Sydney, and Sydney's getting topped up by overseas migration. So you're actually losing people every year, but the overseas migration is actually topping them up. Otherwise, they'd be negative.
Yeah, right. That's fascinating. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a big crisis there. And so the population change, there's no natural increase, actually going down. Net interstate migration, there's people coming from interstate, but people from Sydney are leaving, but overseas is huge.
Yeah, wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yep. Now,
what else is going on in the world, Georgie?
Brisbane is going nuts. I told everyone, invest in Brisbane.
There we go.
Going nuts.
Absolutely.
So
that's
now,
fantastic.
Household income and tax. Our tax to income ratio is the highest it's ever been in history.
Wow.
Okay. So it's the highest it's ever been. So household income and tax, we're paying 20% of our money to tax.
Yeah.
Now, but this is the thing, a lot of people don't realize, right? What's happening is this. You get taxed on your personal income tax, right? So they take out your super, your personal income tax, and then you get your money. Then you buy something, you pay 10% GST. But because you've lost nearly 50% of your money, you're not paying 10% because you're paying 10% on the 50% you got left, which means you're paying 20%. And then you pay tax on your fuel and tax on other stuff and alcohol and cigarettes on top of the tax that you paid. So we get taxed on top of the tax, on top of the tax, on top of the tax. It's like layer upon layer upon layer of tax.
Yeah.
We're literally taxed more than any other country in the world. It's crazy. So
Nuts.
the average Australian, by the time you buy something, you're paying 70%.
Yeah.
So it's like, you work hard, give the lion's share to the government, and then you get whatever's left over to pay your mortgage, invest, get your family through school and holidays and other stuff like that. It's really difficult.
Crazy. Absolutely.
The spending power of the average Australian has gone down, the tax has gone up.
Yeah. Wow.
So at the moment, there's a lot of people that are struggling. Someone said, I can see lots of friends from Sydney have moved to Melbourne. There you go. And lots of Melbourne people have moved to Brisbane. People are playing musical chairs. I've moved to Bali, and there we go. But I'm in Adelaide at the moment.
And we had a lot of Melbourne move to Adelaide as well. So definitely.
Yeah. So look, that's what's happening at the moment. We've got a massive rental crisis. The Greens have made it worse, as always. Labor and the Greens, don't get me started, but their ideas about housing is terrible. Our housing crisis is going to get worse. We're getting more immigration. This is going to be massive. There's actually more people living in share housing than ever in history. There's people living on people's couches, share housing, caravans, anywhere they can live.
Yeah, right.
Right? And something needs to be done about this. I mean, we're supposed to be the lucky country. We're the richest country in the world, and people got nowhere to live. And rents, guess what they're doing? They're going up again.
Yeah.
Right? And that's because of the RBA putting interest rates up. So it'll be interesting to see what they do next. But one thing I know for sure, and this is a little secret. So listen in, come closer.
Come closer. Come closer.
Okay, so RBA have pushed it a bit too far. Now, guess what? They're going to have to drop their rates sooner or later, right? They've been very stubborn, but I think the time has come. We're getting closer. It's going to happen this year.
Yep.
And once they drop, there's all these people sitting on the sideline going, oh, I'm not going to buy property until our interest rates go down. And what I suggest to you, if you're watching this or listening to this, get your ducks in a row. Get all your ducks in a row, because once they drop, make sure your borrowing capacity is ready. You can get refinanced and you get into the market while it's cheap, because we're having one of the biggest booms in history. The next 10 years is going to create more property millionaires than ever in Australian history for the last 200 years. That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Bring it on, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should we put that little question in that's come through? Are you able?
Why don't you read it out? Why don't you read it out? You can put it up there.
I'm in Ballarat renting for $360. I think that's per week. We moved here 15 years ago, looking.
It's not per month.
Per people. Looking to get back into the market in Melbourne. October 25, we will have not owned property for 10 years. Eligible for the first home buyers owners concession, looking at off the plan apartments, but think, nah, I know we need to invest in rental.
Let me talk about apartments. Okay? This is what I want to say. Aussies desperately want to live in houses and not high-rise. Let me repeat that again. Aussies desperately want to live in houses and not high-rise. I've been saying this for 10 years. There's a lot of companies out there, right? It's ridiculous. A lot of companies out there, and they think that they teach people how to invest in property, and they're getting their clients to buy apartments. You know why? Because it's easy. The problem is apartments suck because people don't want apartments, right? And the gap between detached dwelling and apartment keeps going up for a reason. Because
Yep. Absolutely.
So quickly before we go, because we're going to go to our private group, if you want to join our competition, type in #mentor, and my team will actually reach out to you and show you how the competition works. But basically what I'm doing is giving away a lifetime membership, mentorship with me and my team, where we're going to hold your hand and we're going to help you. Come hell or high water, we're going to help you become a property millionaire one way or the other.
Yep.
I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much assets you've got. We're going to do a case study. We're going to videotape as we go through and show you how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, #mentored or mentor and do that. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you. Just want to say, every one of you, I really appreciate you. Thank you for...
Someone just... Cost of the mentorship is $40,000, guys. So that's what
This is the one with me involved as well. Not all of them are 40,000.
Of course. Yeah, this is creme de la creme, top of the range with George as well. And we'll be doing obviously case studies as well. So happy days.
That's right. That mentorship, we're going to end up with a black belt.
Yes.
We're going to get you there.
See up there? See up in the back there? We're going to get our black belt.
That's right. So anyway, we're going to go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Every one of you. Lots of love from George and Belinda.
Fantastic.
See you next week, 30 minutes later than normal.
Correct.
We're going to give you more time.
Cheers. Set your dials, guys. We'll see you next week.